So, ladies and gents, let me tell you a story from my glory days as a young landscaper. Picture this. I'm mowing lawns, living the dream, and then BAM! I hit a chunk of concrete that left me with a genital injury worse than a bad haircut. This injury was minor, and I bounced back after taking a break for a couple minutes. But hey, instead of airing my dirty laundry, let me regale you with a tale so bizarre it'll make your jaw drop. It makes my story sound like a nursery rhyme. Once, while playing the role of a sex crime investigator, yes, I wore a badge, not a cape, I encountered a case that could make a soap opera look like a Sunday picnic. We had a young man whose story was so twisted, it would make a pretzel jealous. This dude claimed that a gaggle of masked men broke into his apartment, and for reasons that remain as unclear as my last relationship, decided to turn his manhood into a craft project. Think DIY gone horribly wrong. Now imagine this poor guy in the ER trying to explain that his member was hanging by a thread, literally. The medical staff were baffled, and I was left grimacing every time someone said severe injury. It's like calling a tornado a bit of wind. He mumbled something about 4 guys holding him down while one whipped out a pocket knife, but here's the kicker. No other injuries, not even a scratch. You'd think if 4 dudes were wrestling him, he'd had at least a bruise or 2, but no, just a severe injury to the pride. I was skeptical. My gut was telling me this story was about as believable as a unicorn sighting. Fast forward to me playing Sherlock at his apartment complex, trying to piece together this wild puzzle. The neighbors were chilling outside, grilling steaks, playing horseshoes. Not a single one heard a thing, except a single scream that sounded more like someone stepping on a Lego than a brutal home invasion. The only sign of chaos in his apartment? A vacuum cleaner parked awkwardly in the middle of a pristine room, looking like it had just witnessed a horror show. Turns out, the vacuum wasn't just for cleaning floors. Oh no, it had an entirely different purpose. After a little detective work, I discovered that our friend had taken the whole suction thing a bit too literally, trying to achieve a happy ending with his vacuum. Spoiler alert, he didn't read the manual. I carted that vacuum over to the hospital, attachments and all, holding out hope that the doctors could play miracle worker and reattach our friend's manhood. But when the medical team fished out the unfortunate remnants from the dust and debris, the surgeon took one glance and declared it a lost cause. Turns out, the conditions were so unsanitary that even surgery wouldn't touch it. The doc laid it out straight. A bacterial infection would make any attempt to reattach that poor guy's shredded beef a recipe for disaster. Talk about a rough day at the office. When I confronted the victim, he sheepishly admitted he thought he was being clever. He read somewhere in an adult magazine that vacuum suction could lead to great things. But instead of following the safety tip of keeping his manhood away from the intake, he decided to go for maximum suction. Because why not? In the end, I didn't charge him for filing a false report. I mean, who needs to add insult to injury? But I did hit him with the $1 million question. What were you thinking? And his answer? I wanted more suction. He didn't exactly consider the genius move of using his 4-inch index finger to gauge the safety of his 6-inch buddy until it was too late and the fan blades had already turned his tool into confetti. This isn't just a plot twist, it's a cautionary tale, folks. Vacuums are designed for picking up dirt, for a DIY pleasure project. Keep your fantasies out of the cleaning aisle. So folks, remember, vacuums are for cleaning, not for, well, you get the idea. Always use the right tool for the job, and maybe keep your hands off the vacuum attachments.